I gotta tell you, wholesaling and flipping houses is freaking hard, and honestly, it might not be worth it. Find out on today's video why the best decision might be to quit right now, coming up.
This video is brought to you by 10K Club, a program that pays you $10,000 for finding ugly houses. Learn more at my10kcheck.com.
Most of the 750 videos on my channel are very specific how-to techniques to flip houses. Now, occasionally I focus on mindset. This is one of those videos. We're gonna have a heart-to-heart talk. Wholesaling is hard, and on this video, I'm gonna explain why the best decision for you may be to quit right now. I'm gonna show 7 reasons why most people quit early or settle for average, and why average just isn't worth it. I'm gonna break down what it takes to become the best in your industry so you can decide if it's worth it. And be sure to stay to the end. I'm gonna share 5 reasons why your training program didn't work. But first, I wanna share a story. Years ago, when I was a new wholesaler, I borrowed money to attend a 2-day live wholesaling training event in Florida. Now, during the first day of training, it was obvious to me who the experts were in the room. I remember one guy that seemed to know everything. I was blown away by his knowledge and understanding of wholesaling. At the time, I had only done a few deals, and I felt like I had no clue what I was doing. On the lunch break, I beelined it to that guy. I was so impressed. I remember the confusion I felt when I asked him how many deals he had done, and he told me he hadn't done any yet. I was just stunned. At the time, I could not comprehend how someone with so much knowledge wasn't wildly successful. While it's true that knowledge is power, I've since learned that knowledge without action is meaningless. Fast forward to today, 17 years as a full-time real estate investor and now over 12 years as an educator and industry expert at flipping, I've seen thousands of people come and go in the industry. Fortunately, I've been able to help and witness a lot of people reach success. I get messages daily about how my videos, tools, software, or coaching has helped people do deals, make money, and be successful. And that is extremely rewarding, and I am forever grateful to be able to influence and impact others in a positive way. One of the things I pride myself on is giving tremendous game for free. No one gives away more free tools and resources than me. Just go to the description box below this video and you'll see what I mean. There are links to dozens of valuable resources I give away for free. Now, at the same time, I also get comments from people who are discouraged by their lack of results. Some complain that wholesaling and flipping just doesn't work, that it's too hard and there's no deals. Occasionally I get direct complaints like my tools and training didn't work. I often hear, I tried that and it didn't work, or that doesn't work in my market. Every now and then I get accused of being a scam. And I know we live in a world where keyboard warriors can hide behind a computer and haters gonna hate, but the reality is my software, tools, training, and other programs don't work for most people. The truth is, wholesaling and flipping is hard, and the low industry success rate is proof. When I first started in the training space, that truth was hard to swallow, and I almost stopped doing training. Now, I would venture to say that maybe 1 in 10 who start wholesaling or flipping ever do a deal, and even less than that go on to do it full time. Now, to be fair, many never make it past the dabble stage and don't ever really commit to the business. But if that's right and 9 out of 10 aren't successful, then all of that learning and training and coaching was a waste of time and money. Now, I recently read a short but life-changing book by Seth Godin called The Dip. Now, I highly recommend you read it before starting in real estate or any endeavor for that matter. The premise of the book is that if something is worth doing, there will be a dip or a phase that is extremely difficult, and the best in any field, real estate included, are the ones who can navigate the dip and come out the other side. Godin explains that almost everything in life worth doing is controlled by the dip. Here's how it works. Let's take wholesaling. Let me know if you can relate. In the beginning, when you first start on your journey to wholesale houses, it's fun, it's interesting, and it's exciting. Over the next few weeks or months, that rapid learning you experience keeps you going. You watch hours of Jerry's YouTube videos, and it's easy to stay engaged. Maybe you purchase a home study program, some software and tools, maybe even advanced coaching. And then the dip happens. The honeymoon phase is over. The dip is the long slog between starting and mastery. The dip is where you work and you work and you work and nothing much changes. It's just a slow, tedious grind. The dip is the difference between watching YouTube videos where Jerry talks to sellers for hours on end and you picking up the phone and talking to sellers for hours on end. And because it's so hard, most don't survive the dip and quit early. But not the best in the world. The very best in any given field embrace the slog. To them, it's a shortcut because it gets them to the top faster than any other path. With flipping houses, the difference between a mediocre flipper earning an average income and a world-class flipper earning a seven-figure income, surprisingly, isn't natural talent, money, or connections. It's the ability to push through the moments when it's just easier to quit. The dip. Here's the thing. The dip is actually a really good thing because the dip is where breakthroughs happen. Think about it this way. Because the dip is so hard, making it through the dip is rare. And because it's rare, it's extremely valuable. The minority who make it through to the other side were willing to invest the time, energy, and effort to power through the dip. And as such, these are the ones who become the best in the world. These are the 1% of flippers who are the very best in their markets. Now, I did a video where I shared how I did my first $1 million deal. It was a luxury new construction flip that I sold for $5 million and made a net profit of $1.2 million. On that video, I talk a little bit about the long and difficult process from starting out wholesaling years ago, flipping junkers in Detroit, to now doing multi-million-dollar flips. Now, if you want to check out that video, I'll put the link in the description box below and you can watch it later. What's interesting is shortly after that first $1 million flip, I did another deal that made $1.3 million. And now I have 4 more seven-figure flips I'm currently working on, not to mention all of my other deals. One of those $1 million flips is right here in Puerto Rico where I live. But my personal dip was slow and long and arduous, but for me, it was worth the effort. So why do most fail to make it through the dip and quit and don't become the best? There are actually 7 reasons. Number 1, they run out of time and quit. Number 2, they run out of money and quit. Number 3, they get scared and quit. Number 4, they're not serious about it and quit. Number 5, they lose interest or enthusiasm and settle for being mediocre and quit. And 6, they focus on the short term instead of the long term and quit when the short term gets too hard. And 7, they pick the wrong thing and don't have the talent and quit. Now, before you decide to quit or not quit wholesaling, consider this. The reward for not quitting and being a mediocre wholesaler is hardly worth it. A mediocre wholesaler's income is equal to an average paying job. So why go through all of the stress and sacrifice and sleepless nights just to be average? Go get a job instead. That's a much better decision. Here's what I'm trying to say. If you're not committed to becoming the number 1 in your market, you should quit now. Just quit. It's okay to quit. You should quit right now because the reward for average is not worth the effort. The problem is for most people, quitting is a negative reflection on their self-worth, and quitters tend to take one of 2 positions. First is shame. Shame is when you adapt the belief that you're not good enough. It's a belief that failure is a person, not an event. My dad was right. I never will amount to anything. I'm such a loser. If it's not shame, the second position quitters adapt is blame. Blame is a way of not taking accountability and where excuses thrive. It's not my fault it didn't work. It's my boss's fault. It's my spouse's fault. It's the economy or who's in office. It's my partner's fault. It's Jerry's fault. His training didn't work. And if you can't think of anyone to blame, there's always your parents because, of course, everything bad in your life is their fault. And chronic quitters often bounce between the two and they go back and forth between shame and blame. But before being too hard on yourself, everyone struggles with shame and blame at some level. It's human nature to shame ourselves or blame others for the things not going right in our lives. It takes a lot of conscious effort to not make shame and blame become a way of being. It takes humility and strength and character and a solid person to take responsibility and not make it mean anything about their worth. Now, I believe every single person, regardless of race, gender, religion, or anything else, is equal in the eyes of God. And we are all His children and as such have inherent worth just for being alive. What happens in life does not change that worth. It only changes the experience we have. I, for one, realize that I'll be dead a lot longer than I'll be alive, so I want to make the most out of my life's experience. One of the most difficult things to do is self-confront and be honest with ourselves. One of my favorite movies is The Big Short, and there's a quote that the author Michael Lewis overheard in a Washington, D.C. bar. "The truth is like poetry, and most people effing hate poetry." Now, the truth is hard, but the truth will set you free. One of the things I cringe at is when I see on social media someone ask, "Has anyone purchased so-and-so's program and did it work?" Or, "How long did it take you to get your first deal?" Now I get it, they're trying to decide if purchasing a program is worth it, but what does someone else's experience or results have to do with your experience or results, positive or negative? Before deciding if something doesn't work, ask yourself if it didn't work because of one or more of the following 5 reasons. Number 1, you didn't follow the instructions properly. Number 2, you didn't put forth an honest effort. Number 3, you didn't believe it would work. Number 4, you didn't really want to do it in the first place. And number 5, you wanted to get rich and skip the dip. One of my goals right now is to do a better job at showcasing success stories. Not for validation from others or to prove the validity, but simply to recognize people who have put in the work and experienced success. So here at Flipping Mastery, we started what we call the Flipping Genius Club. Here's how it works. I'm looking for successful students or subscribers who have wholesaled or flipped houses using one of my techniques, resources, trainings, or software tools. Then each week, I'm going to choose someone to showcase and highlight by inviting them on my YouTube channel to discuss their deal. But that's not all. I'm also going to mail you a personalized Flipping Genius plaque with your name on it that looks like this. Now this plaque proves you're a member of my elite Flipping Genius Club. Now to be considered, just send an email to success@flippingmastery.com. Be sure to include a video testimonial plus written details about the deal, such as the numbers, profit, location, how you found the deal, etc. And if you're new to wholesaling and you do decide to not quit, be sure to get my advanced home study course. This shows you from start to finish how to wholesale and flip houses. It's called the 8-Week Academy, and I used to sell this program for $1,500, but for a limited time, I'm giving it away for free. So to get that now, just go to 8weekacademy.com. Just leave a comment and say, "Thank you, Jerry, you're a flipping genius." Next, I want you to watch a video where I break down the difference between a scarcity mindset and an abundant mindset and how that plays a vital role in your success. So watch that now, and if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to my channel. With over 750 videos, this is the #1 channel on YouTube for all things flipping, and I'll see you on the next video.